On this episode of Maginger Customs, we're going to take a long bed and cut it down to a schmedium bed, and we're going to get it mounted on our Grand Marquis International Chassis Swap. Let's go! Alright guys, we're back working on the International Chassis Swap. We need to cut this long bed into a short bed, but we're going to actually make it a schmedium bed, because Internationals are proportioned to the front. So when you look at them lengthwise, there's so much in the front compared to in the back. The back is very short. So if you take more out of the back, it doesn't look proportionate to me. And when you guys are cutting stuff down, make it so it's how you want it. You know, I know a lot of guys that are like, it has to be exactly like a Chevy short bed or a Ford short bed. It doesn't have to be. It's your ride. Do what you want. So we got a couple issues here. This bed has been fixed. There's Bondo in here. I don't care about these stake pockets because these are absolutely smashed, so I'm probably going to skin them anyway. But we need to figure out where we're going to cut. Now, I want to take 16 inches out of this bed, because when I measured the Grand Marquis / truck car, whatever tragedy I'm making, from the back of the cab to the center of the wheel was, you know, ish 17, you know, and we got to have a little bit of a bump here. And you're always going to want to favor your wheel a little bit forward, just a little. I think it looks better. I know a lot of guys, when they do Grand Marquis or Ford Crown Vic front end swaps, they'll push it just, you know, half an inch or an inch forward because they want that wheel to favor it. It's more personal preference. The bed has like a lot of condition issues. We got an issue down here. This is all rotted. Guys, I know. We talked about it. It's not a great donor truck, but it's what I got, and it's what we're working with. If we can try to save this corner and cut it up, and I don't even care if I cut it through that. I'd actually love to cut it on this side. And then we're just going to pull it back together. I know guys that cut around the stake pockets because they really want to keep that factory stake pocket. Look at that stake pocket. That thing is just hammered. It's not even worth keeping that. I'll fill in these holes. Actually, we're going to cut these out. I don't have to fill them in. The other problem, I channeled the body over the frame. There is not enough from here down, from there to here. So to match, it has to be like 9.5 inches, and we only have 9. So what has to happen is, obviously we're going to lose the bed mounts. We don't care about that. We still are going to have to come up into the bed, you know, to slot the frame in. And I think we're going to lose this entire floor. We definitely have to cut it here for the hump. And I already knew this. This is not like a functional pickup or, oh, we're building a work truck. We're not. This is just a fun truck for me. This is just my fun build for me. The first thing we're going to do is, I don't have a level floor. That doesn't matter. If you can build things that are straight, but you have to make them level first. So what we're going to do is we're going to lift this bed up on jack stands, and then we're going to shim it so it's corner to corner level to start with. I'm going to try to move quickly through this. I've never done this before. I'm just being honest with you guys. And we'll do it together. And if we screw it up, we screw it up together. So let's go. I didn't have a plumb bob, so I took some twine and put some 3/4 inch bolts on the bottom and swinging because I was holding on to it. And basically stretched it from my 2 inches in mark so I can get the curve in the corner and be inside. But this whole back piece, you can't use as a reference because it's stoved in on that side. So I know basically from here to there is 2 inches. Same on the other side. So that's what I'm going with. It'll be close. I don't know. The bed's beat. I mean, would anyone even notice? So I basically just hung it down and kind of just went along the line as pinning it to it and matching the, you know, as it fell, and then I just kind of pushed it, you know. Not super straight, but it's basically 16 inches all the way up. So regardless, the weight, I feel like it pulled it straight down, you know, as a plumb bob. Do you even know Plumb Bob? I think he's a friend of Patrick Starfish. Or chocolate starfish. Okay. If you guys know Jason Kellogg over at Country Boy Gas Garage, he's got a way bigger channel than we do. And he's doing I think it's a 59 El Camino. It's a cool build. You guys should go check that out. Not like I'd have to tell his viewers to go see that, but if you guys don't follow him, Country Boy Gas Garage, Jason had an issue with a 4.5-inch angle grinder that had an aggressive wire wheel, and he literally, that thing kicked back, hit him in the face, sucked into his beard, ripped his shirt right off him, and almost went through his throat. So we're gonna go with this today because that's a good reminder. You know, he did mask up. I should do that too. I'm not a good example of that. I usually just wear glasses. Things like that do happen. I mean, he's a good mechanic, and things like that just happen, you know? That thing just bucked back and instantly just ripped a lot of his beard right out, almost cut his throat. So, Jason, I'm gonna send one of these your way. This is like a UVEX, you know, Deflecto shield. I'll send one to your P.O. box. So what I did here was just hang the string down the inside, just kind of push it in where it stopped, and then I just sprayed it with some white paint. Got it all over my hands too because I didn't have a glove on. Got that Michael Jackson look. And then all we'll do is we'll cut it deep into the pocket in the corner, and then we'll do on the other side same thing, and then we'll straight edge it across. I don't know if that's the right way to do it, but that's the way I'm doing it. So worst case scenario, we'll try to true it up with the rails and try to make sure it's perpendicular and everything fits. I never checked to see if this is level across the front, but these are kind of bowed. I don't know how you could do that. No, you can't really do that. Yeah, no way to do that. It'll be close. It'll be close enough for what we're doing. Both sides. One disc. That's not bad. And I had a kickback. I don't know if it'll show that in the time lapse. On the other side, it bucked back hard on me. It didn't hit the mask, but I was wearing it anyway. I'm glad I was. Anyway, here's where we're cut. I'm gonna have to true it up a little bit with the flap wheel, but I tried to stay on the line. I don't know how well I did, but lots more cutting. Maybe we should get a plasma cutter. Oh no, people cry. Man, I love the comment section. Oh, I wish that you would use tools that are readily available to everybody. Okay, that's a $9 grinder. That's what we've used so far. I'll weld this whole bed back together with flux core if you want, but, you know, crying about what tools I use, you know, everyone cries. They're like, how come you don't use your plasma table? Then I use my plasma table, and they're like, I don't have a plasma table. I can't afford one of those. Well, how come you don't use regular tools? Like, you can't win with you guys. I'm trying. Still well into the 90s here. It's really hot. So I'm kind of working with this fan, and I'm doing stuff in between. So basically what I did was I cut notches here, and then I cut a window so I could just throw my bolt through. I did the same on that side, and basically that's our line. So I'm going to take the spray paint and just kind of knock it over the top. And that way I have something to like join together when I cut. That's it. That worked? Not bad, right? It's kind of like using a chalk line that's a little bit more permanent. We're going to let that dry a little bit, and we're going to get to cutting. Because this is what happens when you don't have any friends to help you. And that's not true. Every single one of my friends, every one of my friends has offered to help. I don't want to like say that I don't have any friends. Every one of them was like, hey, when you're making videos, if you need a hand, call me. You're too impatient. Sticking with the $9 grinder. Basically, the only thing holding this thing up is there's a jack in the middle, and then there's the jack stand on this side and that side, and I got it pinched right here where it's already cut, so I'm just going to cut this part, and technically this should fall away. Now, is it going to fall and onto itself? Maybe. I don't know. And we'll find out together. Okay. Let's get some gloves on before I lacerate myself. I'll tell you what, these things are my favorite gloves. These Arc Captain TIG gloves. I've basically worn through them. Arc Captain doesn't love me anymore, so they won't send me any more, I'm sure. Okay. I think that's it, guys. How heavy is this? Ooh, this has some weight to it. Alright, I'm stupid. Ugh. You didn't need those. You didn't need those legs. You know what? Maybe we should flip it right off. What am I gonna do? Ruin it? It's already ruined. Who are we kidding? It's so hot. It's so hot, I'm dying. I saw Dalton in the hospital. Looked like he got heat stroke from Pole Barn Garage, so hope he's doing better. It is really hot, guys. Alright, I gotta get the sides off this thing. And maybe that's it for tonight. Woo! It's hot. It's my US welding hat. I don't know. I thought these were always disrespectful. Like, you're not supposed to wear the flag. I don't know. I don't know the proper etiquette for that, but it's what I was always taught. Don't wear the flag. It's not clothing. Anywho, cut the sides off it in the bottom. The braces really weren't even attached. Just huck that over there, cut the sides. Death wheeled the whole thing except for the bottom. The bottom I used this cheap Ryobi Sawzall. Now, I'm going to try to the bed's already messed up. This bed was really nice, guys. I would be really careful with it, but it's, you know, it's all messed up. You can't, there's no like, oh my god, I gotta be super careful, I gotta fix it. It's junk, guys. We know that it's junk. So don't get all up in my comments about it. That front ridge coming down, this is actually really strong. So that's what we need to fit. We don't, you know, the bed we can kind of manipulate and we can push and pull and weld as we go, as long as we line that up, because that's where the seam starts. There's a little bit of a break, and then we just got to get the corners matching. And the top of this was kind of like mauled. I mean, really bad. So I think if we just shim it up, we're not too bad. I broke another tripod. Shocking, I know. So anyway, over here, if this will stay up and not fall on me. So I got it tacked on the top, and I like this curve here. So it's too wide this way. So I'm going to take the cutoff wheel and just run the disc down it, so we have a uniform line that we can weld to, and then I can kind of pry and twist as I go. This line lines up good. This lined up perfect right here. And then as you pull this out, I mean, this is actually as it goes. I mean, the problem is the bed is so damaged, and this side does not have a brace that's very good. So I'll have to kind of tack and pull and tack and pull and tack and pull. But all of this looks like it's going to line up. All we need to do is this now, and then this stuff lines up. And then you kind of feel with your hand. The problem is, like, these don't even match because they're from the wrong parts of the bed. but whatever. You guys just make do, right? We're gonna pull that out a little bit. I'm sure there's a really good way to do this. There's like a body guy that's screaming. You don't do it like that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do this. We're kind of learning together, right? Come on, helmet. Okay, like that. Yeah, that's good right there. See, there's a bump here. We're gonna have to pry all that out. Not bad, I did do okay right there. Fire in the hole! I missed by a mile right there. Did you guys see that? Anyway, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna keep pulling and tacking. So the bed cut down is like 82 inches underneath where it would mount. Here's the problem. This is 88.5. So the frame needs to be cut here. So what we're going to do is take a piece of square tubing and we're going to weld it across here, and then we're going to lop that off. So we're going to shorten this entirely. So at this point, you guys ever like work on a project and you stare at it way too long and you're like, just do something, we're going to do something. So I stare at this thing a lot and I'm like, measure. The bottom line is, if we just take this entire bed out and the inside of the wheel wells all the way back, just leave the back brace and don't cut the front brace. It's not attached anyway. We don't have to do any cutting in the front, just on the sides. And we took the whole bottom out. And then we were just left it with the perimeter. We could back the car into it, drop it on down after we cut it. And I think that's all we would need to do. And then we could just put some braces, jack it back up, weld them in. So I think I'm gonna go with the plasma cutter. I think the Simder. This thing's got plasma mode. Let's see here. Nope, that's not what we want. Let's go. Plasma. 35 amps, maybe 40 amps. Probably good enough, 2T. I moved the ground clamp to the clamp area here. I think that's all you need to do. And then everything else is hooked up. So I think, because I don't think you have to switch anything back and forth, you just need to switch the clamp, because technically on plasma, the clamp is hot. No, can't say the way that's the way I envisioned it. Things didn't go well. Let's just put it that way. I cut it around with the plasma cutter, but then there's the support braces for the quarter panels, and those you gotta sawzall through. And then I realized I cut too close in here, so they cut back out. You know, kind of learning as we go. I think if I just cut the front, this thing will boop. Okay. Now what? Hey guys, we got it. So sweaty. Anyway, there's the inside. Probably gonna take the air chisel and knock that piece off like the other ones. But, I mean, that kind of gets us where we need to be. We're supported on the perimeter. You say, Dave, what's the 700R4 for? I'm not telling you yet. That's different. That's for something else. Not for this. Woo, it's heavy. all my friends. I saw a lot of my friends 4th of July, and they're like, Dave, in your videos, it looks like you're struggling. Like, I am a lot. They're like, we'll come help you. I should have called someone. I can see Jess in the background looking at me like, you need help? And she's got a book in her hand. She's going inside. Okay, this is what we're left with. So much room for activities. So much room. So I think tomorrow morning we're mountain biking. You're like, you're fat, you don't mountain bike. Yeah, I do. Like, it's fun. It is Sunday. Whatever we get done today is the end of the video. So I'm hoping to get this thing kind of sat on here. A couple hurdles, right? That bed on the inside, from the inside edge to the inside of where the frame is, 75 inches. So we need to cut this down to 75 inches. Super hot in the sun. And I'm too gingery to be in the sun. So we're working underneath our little tent. Sorry for the fan noise, we're just gonna have to deal with it. So here's my thought. We're gonna cut this, we're gonna plug this in there, whoop, like this. Cut it on that side, weld it in, and then we're gonna cut where the line is, basically straight down. This side's way better than that side. Maybe because of the wind? That's a fat ass bead. It has not cooled down at all. I am filthy. So what I had to do was take all the bolts. They went through the frame into these pockets. There's mounts on each side. The problem with this is the tank straps bolt into this, under the tank, and then at the bottom. The hardware's all rotted. I couldn't get it out, so I had to cut the tank straps gingerly, so I didn't, you know, cut through the tank. But the tank straps are all rotted, so they cut through real easy. So now we got to try to get this thing up and out. That in itself may be something. I don't think you guys saw any of that because the camera fell, but anyway, we pushed it up and out. Now I just need to figure out a way to hold this up. Some ratchet straps or something. And then I need to hook all these wires one by one back up. Well, now I'm gonna take that and put it to this. So electrical stuff is so exciting, I figured I would bring you guys along. So I hooked that back up over there. And I just kind of butt connected this nonsense back together just so we can try to move it. That'll be a whole episode on trying to make it run again. I'm gonna try to get this thing hung from the ceiling so we can try to back this thing up, but I gotta cut the front of this a little bit to make sure it fits. So let me do that, and I'll show you guys as I go. So much fan, it's loud. So in order to clearance so we can get into the pocket of the bed, I think this is enough. It's really only like an inch, so I got a little bit extra room. I'll cut that. I continue to forget that the MIG welder is also the plasma cutter. So 4050 Pro, all you gotta do is move the ground clamp, which is for plasma, it's over here in the clamp section because it's actually the hot. And then when you go to MIG, you just put it back in here. That's all you gotta do, and then you can change it in the display. Super convenient. I've been using the hell out of this thing lately. I don't do any TIG with it. For MIG and plasma, whew, you just swap it right over and off you go. I always forget that I have it sitting there. I started to cut these holes out right here, these notches. I started to cut that out with an angle grinder, and I'm like, how am I doing this for? I'm like, I got this thing. I was like, pss, 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 all done. Anyway, get yourself one of those things. All worth all the money. I'll put a link in the description. At this point, I'm kind of screwed. Oh. So what's holding it up right now is the wheel tubs in the back. Let me show you. A little here, a little there, but the bed's actually pretty level like this. I mean, that just about butted into it when we got the truck. Too much. But see how the bottom's pulled apart? So it needs to go back farther. Now, getting our door line to line up. We're just a smidge high right there. Well, dude, this thing slammed. That's awesome. Kind of loving it like that. Let me see here. Yeah, it just needs to be dropped in the back, maybe half an inch. It looks pretty damn good. Now I just got to build some braces for it. And then try to get it to run again. It doesn't run anymore. Guys, I am long since exhausted. Probably have a little bit of a heat stroke going on. Not feeling great. Jess has been bringing me water after water. Still feel horrible. I just put one single support in the back here, so it's kind of rocky. And I put one in the front and one in the front over there. They are not welded to the actual box, but it's pushed forward enough where nothing should move, and they're just tacked in. So honestly, is it exactly where it's going to live? Maybe not, but it's pretty close. Now I got to figure out how the hell I'm going to get it out of here, because I can't leave it in here. Let's see if we can get it out into the light, take a look at it, because I know you guys can't really see it in here. All right, guys, I absolutely love the way this is coming out. It's a long journey for me, never done this before. A lot of it I've never done before. Still got to finish welding the bed, got to pinch it in underneath. Since we only have the one support in the back, the bed is sagging, so it does, I mean, how does it look? I mean, it looks like it's maybe sagging in the back. So I think that we're gonna, when we build our actual braces, we're gonna have to lift this up a bit, or maybe lift up on a spring. I think this thing's out of gas. I was looking at the gas gauge, I'm like, yeah, it's got a quarter of a tank, and then I'm like, the dash doesn't work. What the hell am I doing? It's probably empty. So we're gonna put some fuel in it. We drag it out with the Jeep. So moving forward, gonna obviously finish welding the whole bed. We're gonna build basically a system to hold the bed to the frame, obviously not welded, so we can unbolt it and bolt it back on if we need to. And then we're gonna build a false floor for it. And then we gotta build all the stuff to hold the nose on. The nose does fit. You guys have seen that if you watched my previous videos. And moving forward, what do we got next? Jess wants her 64 going. We're gonna do Crown Vic swap in that. Just the front end. We're not swapping. I don't think I'll ever do this again. We're gonna do a drivetrain swap because it's crop duster, a couple other little things, lower it down a little bit, and because she wants to drive it. Do the normal stuff. Amazon links in the description. All the equipment I use, links in the description. So like and subscribe. You know, guys, and all that stuff. Thanks for all the guys that hit that buy us a coffee link. I don't have the list in front of me right now. I'm sorry I kind of rushed through the end putting the bed together, but I am way overheated and I need to go take a cold shower because I think I have heat stroke. Keep up with us on social media. So on Facebook, Instagram, I post this stuff as I go, as I build, because I work during the week and then I usually work the weekend. Just remember, guys, you watch me do crazy things like this. And if I can do it, you absolutely can do it. Thanks for watching.